Who is, sorry, everybody's saying here they can't hear us.
Jesus. Jesus.
Sorry, friends over the internet. We apologize. Okay, so Mr. John already read the message. We're talking about the Spirit's book. And in question 625, he asked, who is the most perfect guide and model sent by God to the earth? And the answer was unique. Jesus, period. So today, astronaut James comes back to take us to a trip to Galilee. You see what it is. All right? I'll be there as well with you guys. Meanwhile, the rest of us will be here learning about the importance of following Jesus' steps by taking care of the body. One donut on a Sunday is okay. Every day, no way, Hosea. So,
One donut.
right?
Even
One
one
donut a day,
donut.
no. One apple a day keeps the doctor away, yeah? Loopy the dog
Donut a
eats more than an apple. She hasn't seen a vet for a while. I tell you, this thing
She's
about
been
the
eating
apples
3
helps.
apples like every day, and she hasn't seen the doctor.
Thank God. The bills are very grateful. We're not doing it. So, taking care of the body and spirit is about Jesus. So, one more question before you go. Have you ever heard that Jesus got the flu?
What? No. Oh, what?
Have you heard about Jesus?
No.
Like with the flu?
No.
He's saying, I can't see you guys because I've got the flu.
What?
Or I got a cold.
What?
Or a toothache. Remember, they didn't brush their teeth back then. I wonder how they survived the toothaches. He had no toothache. He had no headache. He had no any ache. How come? What did he do? We need to know. So today, we're going to learn here the secret to that. Meanwhile, we'll be traveling to Galilee. But don't worry, parents, we'll be back. All right, let's go. Let's go. Yay. Okay, friends. So inside, they're going to take a trip to Galilee, and here we're going to take another trip within ourselves. The most important trip, right? People talk so much about traveling the world and seeing everything, but they forget the most important trip that we're here, we reincarnate to make one big trip. And that's great. It doesn't require any financial assets, baggage. We don't need to worry about what we're going to pack. It's a trip within us. We can take it everywhere. We should take it every day, this trip. That's why we are here, and that's why we're here today. A lot of what we're going to share today and learn together, we're going to learn with in this beautiful book. You guys know we've been studying this book a few weeks, right? Step at a time. Remember, this book was brought to us because it's guidelines that groups of spirits studied in the spiritual realm before reincarnating. And kindly Emmanuel through Chico Xavier compile the main topics. So if we want to succeed in this life, the curriculum, it's in this book. We don't have it here physically today, but you guys remember it's very thin. Each chapter is like a page and a half, but so deep. And that's exactly the journey. So the curriculum for our trip with thing is here, thought and mind. Today we're talking about body and spirit. Let us recap. We are spirits, right? We are temporarily incarnated in a physical body, but from our spirit to our physical body, we have the perispirit. So our spirit is enveloped by the perispirit, which is our spiritual body, and connected molecule by molecule. It's three dimension. So when people say, oh, the spirit is within the body, that doesn't exist because we are connected molecule by molecule, it's three dimensional, right? So this is be good for us as we recap and we think about the body and the spirit. So the first question, we're gonna have some moments of reflection today. But the very first question, before we go to the spirit, we're incarnated, we have a physical body. So the question is, how is our relationship with our physical bodies? Do we love our physical body? Right? Not there's extremes, right? There are people who leave all for the physical, as we'll see, and not for the spiritual. But there are those who only think about the spiritual and they don't care for this beautiful body, right? We need, and we talk so much about nutrition, right? Exercise, we need to take care of this. Why? We have pets at home, some of us, but the most important pet that we have is given to us. And we're going to answer for it when we go back. What did we do with the most precious asset that God gave us, which is our physical bodies? Did we take good care of it? Did we give the proper nutrition, exercise? And as John said, and we're going to talk more, spiritual nutrition. What is that? We'll get there. But why we start with this question? Because the manual start in the very first paragraph. He says that the spirit, so we are the tenants of our physical bodies. So interesting because we live in our society that people care so much about their homes, about their cars. Oh my gosh. Only certain type of gas can be in the car, needs to be washed and cleaned. Just I can drive it, no one else, right? People care so much sometimes about their cars, but they forget about their physical bodies. So remember, we're giving this, we are the tenants. That means we have this gift temporarily that we need to take care. So this is not for us to feel guilty. Oh my gosh, I ate that donut, that pizza. But for us to be aware, right? We want to get to the end of our lives and look back and say, I took care of this temporarily, this gift that God gave us. Not that we're not going to age, because that's part of life, right? We will age, it's part. But we can age well. We see in the news, there are people in their 90s, they're running marathons, they're doing Pilates, right? Yeah, it's special. They are definitely special, but that means that we can take care of ourselves and be good. Giving it proper sleep. So interesting. Sleep is such a tough topic because so many people have problems falling asleep, staying asleep. And today we're going to learn tools that can help us, but give it the proper rest that the body needs. Not that we'll be in bed the whole day, but sometimes, as we have shared in the past, taking a power nap. Why? Remember, spirit, perispirit, and body. Our bodies are still heavy. We are on earth. So we go through our days and our bodies feel the heaviness. So it's okay to take a break, put a meditation, a virtual pass, do a prayer. Not being like the dog that turns around, turn, and falls asleep, unconscious, right? That's what they do, right? But no, we do it consciously. That's how we can maximize ourselves. We say, I have 10 minutes. I'm going to go to my room or wherever I am. I will put a virtual pass or a meditation. And it's incredible. If you do it for 10 minutes, it feels like you slept 3 hours. So we can maximize these tools that we have to help us because it's too heavy to go through our days. So we need to also learn to listen to this physical body. When it needs rest, I give it rest. When it needs nourishment, I give it nourishment. When it needs exercise, I give it exercise. And this way has this beautiful image. We are watering ourselves because if we don't do it, no one will do it for us. Because this is on us to take care. But where does it all start? We've been studying and learning, right? We talk already about the cradle, the family. But all starts right here in this beautiful moment. Emmanuel says that the spirit presides over the body's formation and maintenance from the moment of its fetal inception or conception. So yes, at the moment of conception, there is already a spirit attached, still one cell, right? Not even a cell yet, that will continue reproducing. But that spirit already presides over it. And that's why in Spiritism we understand. It's not that we just say we're against abortion. We explain why. Because there's already a spirit connect to that cell. And friends, if we want to learn more, the books by Andrea Lewis shows to us so beautifully. And there is one case, Segismundo. If you want to read more, we can show you. But it shows how in the spiritual realm there are departments of reincarnation that the mentors planned out beautifully our lives. And they already know exactly the genes that we're going to have, what we're going to bring with us, the predisposition for some certain illnesses. It's all there. Oh, but how much the mom and the dad? Yes, of course, we need the mom and the dad's gene. But because that's what we learn with the manual, our previous lives, we attract what we need. So the most important, he says, our cells are microscopic individualities, each of our cells. If we think about it, this changes the way we see our bodies. Because we see that each cell is an individuality that I'm helping. It's like tiny motors, he used those words, that we're helping and are under control of one director, our minds. This changes everything because, and we're still far from getting there, right? But we'll get there one day. Our minds control our bodies. And that's why we teach the children inside this, because it's so cute. They get so excited and they are moving, right? And then they want to say, they say, hold on, but I'm hungry, I'm tired. And we say, we are the masters of our bodies. We're still getting there, right? Because we're very reactive. That is the animalistic inside of us. But if we say, remember, you're the master of our body, tell your body, you're gonna eat, not right now. Oh, but I'm so excited. Let us calm down. Remember, you control your bodies. And that's for us adults too. We can train our minds to control our bodies. That's what Emmanuel is teaching us. So we are hungry, but it's not the time to eat. We say, okay, I will feed your physical body. But remember, at the proper time, I will give you the rest. And we learn how to command ourselves. That's what Jesus mastered. He knew this. We're still learning. But remember, we're the masters of our bodies. So we have the control of it. And then he says, as we're talking about reincarnations, upon reincarnating, we bring the sum, the total good and bad mental reflexes according to the harvest of useful or damaging deeds that we have previously sown. We have a file system like a computer in our perispiritual body that we archive everything that we have done in previous lives. Every thought, every feeling, every action is archived. Everything that we do is transcribed in that file, and it is stored there in our memory files. So we bring those files with us. And we're gonna use them as much as we need. So what does this summarize to us, friends? This summarizes that there is a law of action and reaction. So what we do today, it's something that we're sowing. Whatever we do is gonna be archived in that file that we're gonna have to open it. If it's good, great. Good seeds give good, beautiful flowers, right? But if it's something that doesn't go with our conscience, it will be there. Andrea Lewis, in the book Evolution in Two Words, he's explained to us that every time we do something, we say something, we feel something that goes against the laws of God, it's like we're going against our conscience, even if we're not aware of it yet, but our spirit is aware. And he explains that forms a nodule. And in order for us to become a pure spirit, we'll have to go there and dissolve that nodule. How? Physical illnesses, mental imbalances. So when we see that people are sick, this already changes the way we see. Because we look at people who are sick and we're saying, oh, poor them. But in the contrary, it's already a blessing because they're expunging from their spiritual body that nodule that was there. So they already have merit to go through it. Let us think. God doesn't give us something, a load heavier than we can carry. So if God is saying, now is the time, now is the time. So it's a blessing. Not that we want to get sick, right? We don't want to get sick, but it's a blessing. So Emmanuel explains to us, oh, that's a long list. We didn't include everything. But at every time that we ourselves kill our physical bodies, suicide, We wanna learn more. For those who are here, those over the internet, there is a beautiful book, Memoirs of a Suicide. In that book, beautifully, we get to know. I know the name, right? You're like, no, I don't want to, but it's a book. If I had to summarize in one word, it's a book about hope. Because you read it and it's so hopeful, but it provides us that understanding. For many religious beliefs think that people who commit suicide are forever condemned, right? People think that in many religious beliefs. But Spiritism comes and say, no. Yes, there's a lot of suffering in the spiritual realm, but there is hope. And Mother Mary, look at how beautiful it is. Mother Mary, assigned by God, she took that on herself to help. She helps everyone, but especially the suicide spirits. And when we say suicide, it's not only physically killing our bodies. André Luiz, he shares with us in the book Nosso Lar that when he got to the spiritual realm, he got to know that he was what they call an indirect suicide. What that is, every time that we do something with our bodies that cuts short our amount, our vitality, our amount of time, we were born with enough vitality to live 90 years. But what do? We drink. We abuse our bodies. We don't feed it properly. We have sexual addictions. Or we are idle. We sit in our chairs and we stay there. On Friday, for those who are here, we talk about idleness. So then we're losing vitality. Vitality that God gave to us for a purpose. That's what happened with André Luiz. So then he got to the spiritual realm and he got to know that he was an indirect suicide. Those who commit murders, crimes, that creates guilt. Friends, guilt, it's something that we need to care for it. Everything in this list, of course, but guilt is where it gets many people. Because of that guilt, that module that we talked about, then that's a lot of the reasons people get sick. So if we have that, we need to go there. That's why we have the spiritual treatments. That's why we have psychologists that can help us go to the root, reconcile with those that we need. Why? Because Emmanuel says, this, remember, creates that nodule that will need to be expunged. How? Through congenital diseases, painful disarrangements upon birth. So when we say, oh, there's so little, but they already came with that congenital disorder. Or when you see children, we're gonna end with a beautiful case that talks exactly about that. Illnesses in childhood. And we know it's so hard, right? Because we see what they go through. And that's why we need to help. But we remember, they are in the body of a child, but that spirit is immortal and it brings the baggage with them. So remember, if they are going through it because God thinks they're already ready for it. And they need that experience. Sometimes the whole family needs to go through that experience together so that they can heal. So that is the healing already on itself. When we see cases of mutilations, unusual trials, painful physical disasters, people who are healthy and then they go through an accident, they become paralyzed. Nothing is by chance, friends. If God's saying we have to go through this, we do. In this book that we mentioned, Memoirs of a Suicide, there are many cases. One of them is Geronimo. And what happened? He committed a crime. He killed someone with their hands, and then he killed himself. So then he gonna have to be reborn, and both of his arms gonna be deformed. He was wealthy. He's gonna reincarnate in a very poor family. Is God punishing him? No. That's why we read in the book. In the spiritual hospital, in this beautiful city of hope called Hope City, which is Mother Mary's colony that helps those spirits, he then asks to reincarnate and go through those trials so that he can rearrange his spiritual body. So it's a blessing for us. We know it's not an easy topic, huh? But there's hope. That's why we're studying this, so that we can understand. And then we read situations in life differently. But do we only bring that baggage from the past? No, we bring that with us, yes. But we are also, from the embryonic phase, from the moments of conception, we continue imprinting our mental reflex in our bodies. So can we change it? That's the beauty. And that's what we'll see. Yes, we can. If we start today with beautiful thoughts, beautiful conversations, enveloping ourselves, because if we continue in the cycle that we have come from many lives, that's the power of affirmations. People think and say, right, I'm not good enough. I cannot succeed. Who am I? I am nobody. And then as we start with the self-love, right, people unconsciously, they are making themselves sick. How it works? Let us understand. We're gonna bring this lesson for those who listen to the podcasts, and that's why we're bringing it in English, John and Kathleen. This week, Sarah Terra of Ismael, she brought us this opportunity to learn how to transform our emotions. How? Okay. We start with conflicting situations. Who doesn't go through conflicting situations? Huh? How many a day, right? Yes. We wake up, it starts at home, at work, and then you get in the car, and then people cut in front of you. Oh my gosh, right? You go to the store, and now with the craziness, and people are crazy to shop, and you're like, I'm just gonna get this. But it happens, right? We're on earth, it's part of life. The question is, how do we react? Because people can do whatever they like, right? But we have a choice to choose how we're going to react. Well, our instinctively self stays in that first box, the reactivity, right? We react. People say something, we say it right away. People cut in front of us, and we curse them, or we're mad, right? And that's the reactivity inside of us. It's our animalistic side, right? It's okay. Remember, we're learning, we're progressing. So we're trying to go from the reactivity to the non-reactivity, right? To the meekness that we learn with Jesus. It's a practice, but we are getting there. But it's so interesting because Celia brought a nuance of this because we think we are being non-reactive and we're good. Yes, great. It's a step forward. But what happens? We know the reactivities when we lash out, when we're impulsive, right? But sometimes we don't say anything. And that's the trick. We stay silent. We don't do anything. But we keep that feeling inside of us. It's when people say something and we don't say anything, but inside of us, we replay that scene over and over and over. Like, I'm so mad. How come they did that? Right? So do you see? We're progressing. We're ready. It's not the eye for an eye anymore. We're getting there. But the trick is, how do we recycle this emotion? Why? Emmanuel explains to us, and Celia brought this in the podcast. She said, we are poisoning ourselves with our own thoughts and feelings. Do we understand how that happens mechanically? Because we don't say anything, but we keep that inside. But then we keep thinking, right? That anger inside of us. So it's like when we eat, we're eating spiritually. We're feeding our spirit that emotion, that thought. Friends, this is new for us. No one taught us this, right? We never learned this at home. Yes, we learn to be polite, but that's why we're here. That's the beauty that we bring this to us. This is revolutionary. That's why every week we come and we talk about thinking positively, right? We feel like a broken record already. Doing the good. Why? So we can recycle those emotions. Because what happened? If we keep those inside, that leads to inflammation in the body. That's why you go to clinics and people talk so much fibromyalgia, pain, chronic pain. You go to the chiropractor, they're so busy, right? Because we keep that inside and our bodies get rich, right? And that leads us to pain. So we are causing our pain ourselves. So Celia said, and we brought this to us, let us work on learning to transform those emotions. We are getting there. We are going from this reactivity to the non-reactivity. Great. But now we need to learn how to recycle those emotions. There are many things that we can do. And we will talk about some of them. But one of the things that we can do, that Vanessa always reminds us, is to think. When we have an interaction with one another, we see it through our camera. We have our camera, right? We see the situation from our angle, we bring our past with, probably that person not the first time. We bring our feelings, we bring our perspective. The person brings their camera, right? They have their way to read the situation. They have their past experience. So they have their own camera. And a lot of times those clash, right? But then there are many cameras. There's the camera of the guardian angel. There's the camera of Jesus. There's the camera of the obsessors who doesn't want us to get along and they are there spicing up things. So if we learn to remove ourselves from that camera and look to the 360, we're going to start reading situations different. We may not agree with the person, but we say, I understand. I don't agree with what you're saying or doing, but if I was in your shoes, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. And that helps us transform those emotions inside of us because we read the situation differently. Before we go to the remedy, I will show a short clip because science, this is not new, friends, okay? In the sense of, we know this through Spiritism, but science so beautifully, it's catching up. And scientists has the one that we will see in the video beautifully, have shown to us the power of our words. Dr. Masaru Emoto, yes, you know about him, Kathleen, beautiful. There are many videos. This one I got is very short, but if you want to read more, so he studied, if you remember, we did this with the children not too long ago. One of his most famous experiments is the rice and the water. He put rice and water, 3 containers. One, he said, beautiful things, you're beautiful, I love you, every day. The other cup of rice and water, he said, you're ugly, I hate you. And then to the third cup, he's ignoring. He didn't say anything. He just ignored. And you see, it's so beautifully. We can do this experiment at home ourselves. What did he saw? The one that he said beautiful words flourish in the sense of the rice started to ferment, had a nice aroma. The rice that said hurtful things, it started rotting. But the most interesting one is the third one, the one he ignored. That one rotted the most. And especially for parents and educators, this is an important lesson. Because the silent treatment or not caring, that hurts most than if we say it out loud. So interesting. The other experience that this video will show, he froze the water molecules. He did the same experiment, and then he looked at it under the microscope, and he saw how the power of words, friends, change the molecules of water. You can see beautiful molecules for those that he said beautiful things, and you can see how the structures of the molecule change. This is revolutionary because this changes the way we see ourselves, how we treat others, but how we treat ourselves. How much of our body is composed by water? Yes, 70%. Yes, almost 70%. 70. So imagine that's how we get sick, because we don't love ourselves. How are we gonna learn to love others if we don't love ourselves first? So let us see. It's a very short clip. It's just showing exactly what we're
Ever thought about how your words affect your body? Well, this experiment will show you what happens. For many years, a scientist called Dr. Masaru Emoto has been studying the effects of words on water crystals. Having filled several bottles with pure water, he spoke a word or a simple phrase to each one. He then froze the water bottles and observed the ice crystals under a microscope. The ice crystals formed very dramatically according to the word or phrase. When words like thank you, peace, and I love you were spoken, the crystals were beautiful, complex, and crisp. However, with words like hate and ugly, the crystals were ill-formed, rounded, solid, and non-symmetrical. So if your body is up to 70% water, think about what you are saying is doing to your body.
That's on Dreammaker.
Yeah, you know, John, there are many. Because of the time, I select one that was a little bit shorter. But if you just type on YouTube, Emoto and water experiment, and there are interviews with him so interesting that we can hear. Yes, definitely recommend. Yeah. So do we see now how Spiritist science comes and is catching up? So now we understand. So we start with the question, how is our relationship with the physical body? Now let us think, how do we nourish, cleanse, and exercise our spiritual body? Beautiful, right? The physical body, we love it. It's our most important asset. We're tenants of it. We're masters of it. But first and foremost, we're a spirit. So people in our society worry so much about the physical body, but we forget to take care of our spirit. Think about it, in a day, 24 hours. How much time we take care of our bodies? Maybe we exercise for 30 minutes. We add breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's what? I don't know, another hour and a half. 1 hour. Let's do an hour. Okay, an hour and a half. Then shower, cleansing ourselves. Okay, let's just round it up. Another half an hour, 2 hours. Okay, then we sleep. Hopefully 8 hours, but let's say 6. Okay, 6 plus 2, 8 hours. Okay, this is a quick math we're doing here together. 8 hours, just generally. From a 24 hours day, we're caring for ourselves, plus all the, everything else that we do, right? Do we spend 8 hours nourishing our physical bodies every day? Daisy, I barely have time to do what I am doing. How can I do it? Well, we can maximize. How? Taking a shower. So important, friends. Those over the internet too. How we can maximize it. How do we take a shower? We get in and then we're like, oh my gosh, I forgot, I have to do that. Oh, the shopping list, right? And then we're taking showers and we're going through the to-do list. Or we are worried, oh my gosh, how I'm gonna solve that problem at work or that problem with my child. So do we see that we're cleansing our bodies physically, but what are we showering ourselves with? Worries, stress, right? So how can we maximize it? We enter the shower and we say, thank God, so good in a cold day. How many children don't have a shower? Thank God for this beautiful body that you gave me. I'm going to cleanse it. Please, God. And then we take a shower and we pray. We think, God, if we truly maximize our showers, it can be as effective as a pass because we're there and we're cleansing ourselves to say, please, God, take away anything that I need. If we have pains and aches, we let the water come, shower, we pray, we do the Lord's Prayer. Oh, wow. See, we can maximize it. We're cooking. And then we cook, and then what do we do? The same thing when we take a shower, right? And then all that energy we're putting into the food. That's why sometimes, friends, so important. We go to restaurants and we get sick. Why? Because they didn't have proper hygiene. We know. I know. I used to inspect restaurants. I know it is. There is a sanitary problem. But the most important, what are people doing in the back? Do we think they are cooking our meals and having beautiful thoughts? Oh, but then I'm not going to eat anymore in restaurants. No, that's not what we're saying. But we sit and we pray. We pray for the people in the kitchen because they're preparing our foods. Imagine they're there minding their own business, but we put that vitality into the food that we make. So when we cook a meal, we have beautiful thoughts, right? So we can do this. How? Let us recap a few things. Beautiful thoughts and good conversations. It's a practice. People come to us, what come? This happened, that happened. Look what is happening. The war in Israel. We put a good word, a positive thing. It's a training every day, starting with ourselves. Remember, our physical bodies. Next, prayer, meditations, visualizations. Friends, the power of prayer, we talk a little bit on Friday too. Prayer is vital, like we said, when we take a shower, before we take a nap, when we go to sleep, we remember saying, look how we can maximize our nourishment to the spiritual body. We're going to go to sleep. We do our prayers. We thank God for the day. We're grateful. And we say, God, allow me to maximize this time. As my physical body rests, because the physical body needs rest, let me go to the spiritual realm. I can take courses. We can help that person. Remember that person that we talked, that we have the conflict. We can say, God, if you allow us, let us meet in the spiritual realm. There are psychologists, therapists, doctors there. They can help us reconcile. I don't know how to do it, but you know. How many people say, oh, sleeping is a waste of time? And then people do those maths. Have you guys seen it? They calculate if you sleep X number of hours a day in X number of years, in the end of your life, you slept like half of your life or 1/3. And people are like, oh, sleeping is a waste of time. No, if we know how to maximize it. Our bodies asleep, we're learning. But why? That's why we pray. We meditate, we do the visualizations. So important. Also, how are we nourishing ourselves physically speaking to our spirits? Good books, good movies, harmonious music. That's why we're doing next week the beautiful Christmas Art Festival to teach our children. We turn on the radio, right? We already talked about this. And the music, oh my goodness. And we're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to hear it. Right? The beat is nice. We like the beat, but then you go read the lyrics and you're like, oh my gosh. So we teach the children we can use the art for the good, and good music and good books, harmonious environment. And then we talked about showering ourselves with good vibrations. Friends, if we go through our day and we check one of our box from each of this, yes, we're getting there. So we have many tools. Thank God. We have so many tools to help us, our physical bodies and our spiritual bodies. So we're gonna end now with the remedy. Look at how beautiful Emmanuel says. The continuous and untiring practice of good deeds can alter the route of one's destiny. Friends, look at this. We can alter the route of our own destiny. Remember the list of things, the congenital disorders, the physical impairments. There are so many stories. There is one that Chico Xavier psychographed. The person came and he had in his reincarnatory plan that he will go through an accident and he was going to lose his whole leg. It was written, it was a sign. But he practiced so much good deeds. He helped out so much that when the time came, he lost a toe. He went through the accident. But do we see the blessing in disguise? But then how people read, if we were us in this situation, we're like, how come I had to go through that? How come I lost a toe? And we don't know that in the behind the scenes, God is saying, no, you receive credit. You can alter the route of your destiny. So you see the God's mercy, how it's so beautifully. Why would God punish us? God never punishes us. That's why we say, let us practice the good. Let's do good deeds. And he says, a clear and righteous thoughts with uplifting actions interfere with our cellular functions as well as our human events. So this can help not only the events that we face in life, but can change the structure of our own cells. That's why, friends, people get sick, they heal, and then a few years later, they get sick again. Maybe the cancer came in this area, then they redeem themselves, and then it comes. Why? Each case is different, but we need to learn how to remember, transform those emotions. If not, we're going to continue getting sick. That's why Jesus said, go and sin no more, because we bring those to ourselves. So as Kardec taught us, without charity, there is no salvation. So if we want to truly expedite and reverse it, here is practice of good deeds. So that's why, friends, we're going to end with this case from Claire Riviere, a beautiful case in the book Heaven and Hell. As we're talking at the beginning about children, she was 4 years old when she got sick, and she lived for just a few years. She disincarnated really young, but she comes back to talk to Kardec and share her story. But beautifully, she went through the illnesses and she never complained because she knew it was a blessing for her. So let us hear this case, and Claire's going to talk exactly about what we're talking about. Being charitable, doing the good for ourselves, helping as we help others. Remember, we're helping ourselves. So it's a beautiful case to illustrate exactly as we're talking today before we wrap up for the past. Okay? And for those that don't know, these cases, they are all available as of yesterday. They are all on YouTube. They were already pre-recorded many years ago. So 66 cases recorded from voices of friends around the world in a big effort by Kardec Radio. They are now all on YouTube. There are cases of happy spirits, suffering spirits, expiations on earth, many. And this is one of them. So we want to incentivize you to go there and listen, because these are true accounts that Kardec brought to us.
The story of Claire Riviere. Claire Riviere was a young girl who died at the age of 10. She belonged to a family of day laborers in a village in the south of France. From the time she was 4 years old, she had been entirely deprived of the use of her limbs. Throughout her life, she never uttered a complaint, never showed the least impatience. Although totally uneducated, she consoled her sorrowing family by talking to them of the future life and of the happiness she would enjoy in it. She died in September 1862, after 4 years of torture and convulsions, during which she prayed incessantly.
I am not afraid to die,
She frequently repeated.
because a life of happiness is awaiting me afterwards.
To her father, who was weeping, she said,
Be comforted. I shall come to visit you. My hour is near. I feel it, but when it comes, I shall know it and will warn you of it beforehand.
Just before she died, she called all her family to her bedside, saying,
I have but 5 minutes to live. Give me your hands.
They did so, and she died at the moment she had indicated. After her death, a rapping spirit frequently disturbed her parents' house, upsetting everything, striking heavy blows on the tables, shaking curtains and clothes. displacing cups and platters. The spirit of Clara herself appeared to her younger sister, 5 years old, who asserted that she frequently came and talked with her, and who often exclaimed joyfully,
Oh, look at Claire, how pretty she is.
evocation of Clara Riviera.
I am beside you, ready to reply to your questions.
Whence did you derive, young and uneducated as you were, the elevated ideas you expressed in regard to the future life before your death?
From the shortness of the time I had to pass on your globe, and from my preceding incarnation, I had been a medium during the previous life, and I was a medium when I came back among you. My last life was the result of predestination. I felt and I saw all that I stated.
How could a child of your age refrain from uttering a single complaint through 4 years of constant pain?
My physical suffering was controlled by a still greater power, that of my guardian angel, whom I beheld constantly beside me. He reduced the pains I felt, and he rendered my will superior to my suffering.
How did you foresee the moment of your death?
My guardian angel had told me when it would take place. He was never mistaken.
You said to your father, "Be comforted, I shall come to visit you." Why, having felt so affectionately toward your parents, do you now torment them by making such a racket in their house?
They have to undergo this trial, which it is my mission to direct. Do you suppose there is no end to be gained by these disturbances? The noises, movement, and confusion determined by my presence are a warning to the entire neighborhood. I am assisting. Turbulence is employed in view of an aim to be attained, as I also have an aim in appearing to my sister. Thanks to these visitations, many will be convinced of the reality of another life. My parents had to undergo a trial. It will soon be ended, but only after having brought conviction to many minds.
It is not you, then, in your own person, who produce those manifestations?
I am seconded by other spirits who serve as an agents of the trials appointed to my dear parents.
How could your sister have seen you if it is not you who produced these manifestations?
My sister saw only me. It is not the last time I shall come to console and encourage her.
Why were you, being so young, afflicted with so many infirmities?
I had to expiate the faults of a former life. I had misused health and a brilliant position in my preceding incarnation. God, therefore, said to me, "You have enjoyed immensely, without stint or measure. You shall suffer on the same scale. You have been proud, you shall be humbled. You have been vain of your beauty, you shall be as broken reed. Instead of seeking your own selfish satisfaction, you shall seek to acquire charity and kindness. I did what was appointed me by the divine will, and my guardian angel aided me.
Would you like to say anything to your parents?
By the advice of a medium, my parents have gone through many charitable acts. This is well, for man must pray, not with their lips only, but also with the hearts and the hands. To give those who suffer is the true prayer for spiritists. God has given to every soul free will, that is to say, the faculty of progressing to all. He has given the same aspiration, for which reason the humble garment of serge is nearer to the robe of cloth of gold than generally supposed. Apply yourself then to drawing your social classes near to each other by the exercises of charity. Bring the poor to your houses, encourage them, raise them, do not humiliate them. If this great law of conscience were practiced by the people of your earth, you would not have to undergo from time to time the great cataclysm that are a disgrace to nations calling themselves civilized, that are sent by God to punish them for their blindness and to make them open their eyes. My dear parents, pray, love, practice the law of Christ. Do to others only what you would have them do to you. When God sends you a trial, implore his aid in bearing it, and being imposed to his high and holy will, arm yourself as a preparation for the future. With courage and perseverance, you have still to suffer, and remember that you must earn admission to a happier world before you can enter it. I shall always be with you, dear parents. Goodbye, or better yet, until later. Cultivate resignation, charity, the love of the neighbor, and you will thus arrive at the abode of felicity.
The humble garment of serge is nearer to the robe of cloth of gold than is generally supposed, is a charming metaphor referring to the fact that these spirits pass, in their successive existences, from a brilliant position to one that is obscure and poverty-stricken, or vice versa, according as they have misused the one or made, through patience and resignation, a good use of the other. The justice of this providential arrangement is too obvious to call for comment. Another thought, equally profound, expressed in the foregoing communication, is that which attributes the calamities of nations to their infractions of the law of God. For God punishes nations as he punishes individuals. It is certain that if nations practiced the law of charity, there would be neither wars nor any great troubles. The aim of Spiritism is to lead men to the practice of this law. Is that the reason why it encounters such violent opposition? Are the words addressed by the spirit of this young girl to her parents those of a demon?
Friends, Clara showed to us that we're never alone. We always have mentors and guides, especially our guardian angels, right next to us. And as we saw in her case, everything there's a reason. So let us continue reflecting this week about our bodies, our spiritual bodies, how we can nourish it, both, and take care of both. So we're gonna end, since we're talking about visualizations and the passes, let us end with the virtual passes to show to us we can do this at home, okay? And I will purposely show to you how we get there from YouTube. So easy. Just go to YouTube. And if you type cardiac radio virtual passes, you can choose. There's a male and female voice. So it's up to us.
Spanish.
And spill over
Oh,
you.
it's in Spanish too. There
My
you go.
sister.
Yes, Alba did. Yes, there's a Spanish version. And for those of us who speak Portuguese, there are many in Portuguese that we can also listen to, okay? And we can do this at home as much as we need. Sometimes, if I wake up in the middle of the night and I cannot get to sleep, I put a virtual pass to help. It's a great resource for us. So let us not be afraid to use it. You guys want the female? Yeah, we usually do the male voices, right? Okay.
Welcome to the Virtual Passes Room. Emmanuel, the spirit mentor of Chico Xavier, once stated that thought is life. Thus, we can create the healing mental state right here and now. In preparation for the virtual passes, we would kindly recommend the following. Be certain that you have a real need to receive passes. Do not use the room simply out of curiosity. Casual visits to the room will negate its future benefits when needed. When using the room, have gratitude and show respect as you would when visiting a physical spiritist center. During the passes, silently evoke God's protection as well as Jesus. Also pray to your guardian angel. Concentrate on positive thoughts, thereby avoiding negative ones. Breathe deeply, slowly, calmly, and confidently. Always be ready to pray. Let us begin this passes session by praying as our guide and model Jesus Christ has taught us. Our Father who is in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Now let us feel that small points of suffering, bitterness, sadness, anger, deception disappear from your mind, not to return. Like aged leaves that are shed from trees, let go of those feelings no longer serve you, and gently, but most assuredly, discard them. Let the wind of life carry them so far away that they are unable to return and create their negative link. Little by little, your emotional tree sheds its negative feelings, becoming clean and ready for its renovation. Without the weight of those dead leaves, you feel lighter and you're able to feel the gentle water of life now abundantly falling onto your physical body, spiritual body, and soul. This water cleans, disinfects, purifies, deconstructs, and tones all the cells of your body. Nothing can escape its renewing action. At the same time, it is cleaning and moisturizing your body. This crystalline liquid satiates your spirit, eliminating affliction, anxiety, and unrest. Now, within your heart, resides a sense of calmness, cleanness, and well-being. Then, the light of God emerges to warm and snuggle you, while carrying rays penetrate your whole body and tenderly embrace you like a maternal hug, which brings comfort and safety to your heart. At this moment, great love warms your heart and removes the coldness resulting from any affliction. Now, your mind contains only feelings of joy and confidence. You are at peace and enveloped by a protective warmth. The heart of life offers you perfumed flowers. Then, with grateful and happy soul, you gather their colorful petals that penetrate your whole being, restoring feelings and emotions of happiness, hope, faith, courage, and determination helping you to regain the willingness to live. In addition to the perfume and color, nature also shares with you the best it has to offer, an infinite capacity for restoring its sublime beauty, even when struck by evil that appears to enact its end. Divine hands full of light gently overflow and spill all over you like a golden waterfall of unspeakable and unknown essence. Little by little, your soul is impregnated with sweet happiness, allowing an inner renewal of the most noble and elevated purposes that are of progress and accomplishment. Showered by this sublime power, you deeply surrender to the donor of light, absorbing energy that now gives your life a new and blessed impulse. You called me, and here I am. What do you want from me today? What do you need? Ask, my son. Ask, my daughter. I am here to help. Now, ask your special request to Jesus, enumerating the problems and difficulties that afflict you. I listen to your request with love and attention. Now I count on your faith and trust in me to solve your problems. Go in peace. I am watching over you, and I will not lose sight of you. Believe in God and also believe in me. I will be with you every day until the end. Be happy. Many blessings.
What are you doing? Make it or pass this?
We have all the chairs here.
Thank you. Okay. So for us who are inside, the passes is directly from Jesus, huh? Because we were in Galilee. All right? All right, friends. So let us visualize. Okay, can we now look at the toys now? Thank you. They're going to receive passes too.
House.
Yes.
Fixed it.
All right. Let us feel Jesus. Look at this picture, so beautiful, huh? Let us feel him now embracing us. He's our best friend. And from his loving care comes rays of healing light that are showering upon us. As he said to the bleeding woman, your faith healed you, oh Jesus. We trust in God. We trust in you, in your love, in the power of healing. Thank you for allowing us to begin again, to renew ourselves. And may those who persecute us, those who misunderstand us, be forgiven in their blindness. May you heal them as we also want to be healed. We bless the past in all of our decisions that led us to this day. And we embrace the future today, feeling your embrace of love and kindness. Please bless our schools, our teachers, our friends at school, our classmates, the administrators of our schools. May our workplaces also be filled with renewed hope and joy. In the calmness of this moment, we breathe in and out healthy molecules that are rejuvenating us for immortality. In this embrace, we see the earth in your presence more peaceful and kind. Thank you, Master Jesus. And so be it. The treasure box that fell. I knew it was gonna fall.
Wait, it fall?
It fell. It fell.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I forgot grammar for a second.
Yeah, it fell. Fall, fell. Fell. Fall, fell, falls.
I said fold.
No, fall.
Carlos, you broke it.
All right, great. Yes, what happened? It exploded. That's interesting. I love when this happens. Oh yeah, I forgot something. Oh my gosh, Miss Daisy. Next
Oh my
week,
god.
Christmas, Virginia.
I need to throw away the cups.
You know, okay, for the other ones, stay seated. Let me just share something. The art festival is next week, and this. Thank you. Look at this. For those who are over the internet, it's also an invitation to you. This week, from December 12th to the 17th, exclusively, the Chosen is going to show a special thing in selected theaters around the world, including Brazil. I'm still saying, I haven't finished. Leo, I haven't finished. Friends, let me finish because this is important. It's very unique. On Earth, it has never happened. This is a phenomenon that has never happened on Earth. Now we measure how important Jesus has become on Earth more and more. In selected theaters around the world, including Brazil, for those who have family there, you can tell them. From December 12th to the 17th, the Chosen is going to play the Christmas with the Chosen. It's a special thing, featuring, amongst many, the renowned Andrea Bocelli and his son. He's blind, but he's making miracles with his voice. Yes. And by the way, he's sick, so we need to pray for him because he canceled 4 concerts in a row. But if you go to the movie theaters between December the 12th and the 17th, you'll be able to watch this Christmas with the Chosen, Holy Night. If you want to watch it with us, eat popcorn with us, we would love to do it with you. We selected one day, okay? That potentially you can come, but it's up to you. You can go any day, but we'll be there for sure. It's Saturday, December the 16th at 6:20 p.m. nearby. It's near the center because if you go elsewhere, it's going to be near the center. It's going to be the Regal at Town Center, Fairfax Town Center. You will receive it in the WhatsApp community and you can watch it together. Next time, we'll plan ahead and have the whole room just for us. Okay? We're talking with the people there next time. This time it's too close. All right? So you can buy your tickets online, or in person. Select your seats. We are going to sit back, on the very back, to see everybody coming in, okay? Eating popcorn, maybe ice cream, right? Candy, all right? So if you have any question, let us know, friends. Thank you. And for those over the internet, don't forget Christmas with the Chosen. All right? Selected theaters. Go online, find out. Thank you, friends. See you next time. Have a beautiful week.
Thank you. For the Christmas.
For the parents who received the vouchers, you can use the vouchers for the, okay?
Yeah,
You can use those. You can see.
Where's yours?
You can work online. Yeah.